Welcome, everybody. It's so nice to see you. Happy Monday. Wanted to just welcome you guys to our weekly Real Estate Rockstar event. We have a very special treat today. We have somebody named Brandon Andalon who took our real estate class and our crash course, got his real estate license, and now he is doing big things. We're so proud of him. He closed 3 deals his first 4 months in the business. So he is a budding rock star. He's not quite achieved rock star status yet, but I'm sure it's coming. Brandon, say hello to everybody, my friend.
Thanks for having me, Kartik. Hello, everybody. My name is Brandon. I'm excited to be here. Ask me any questions you guys want. And thanks again, Kartik, for having me.
Oh, you're a young looking guy, Brandon. How old are you?
I'm 24 years old.
You're 24 years old, so a couple years older than me. That's fine.
Yeah.
Wanted to just give folks a second to hop on. I know it's a Monday afternoon. I think some people might be just logging on their lunch break and whatnot. So we'll just give it a couple of minutes and we will get started. Thank you again, Brandon, for being on the call.
Sounds good. Yep.
Kartik, if you will, I take the test Wednesday. What advice would you give me?
Do you have the crash course online site?
Yes.
Yeah, so I would do all the questions in the training mode at least twice, and then make sure you're scoring a 90 or better consistently on the mock exam. That's what I would recommend. Have you gone through all the questions at least 2 times?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And how are you scoring on the mock exams?
75s.
Yeah, I would definitely try to get that higher. I mean, mostly it's also like the discipline of like being able to focus for 3 hours at a time unfettered. That's probably the most important thing that I would say, is just being able to concentrate for so long. Is there a particular category that you're having more challenges with than others?
No, you actually hit it right on the head. I'm super, I can't find the time to just be sit down straight. So I think that's what it is.
Yeah, right. No, totally understand that. So cool. Awesome. Let me see who we got on the call here. I saw Robert was on here, Brandon, but I think he hopped off.
Was he? Did he hop off?
Yeah. Cool. So let's get started. We're about 5 past. Looks like we have quorum. So again, my name is Kartik. I work here at ADHI Real Estate School. I wanted to invite every Monday, as you know, at 12 o'clock, we have a very special guest, someone that's done extraordinary things in the real estate business. A little bit different today. I mean, I think the last time we had this, we had somebody who had been in the business literally 45 to 50 years in Mr. Tim Rush. So today we have someone a little different. This young man that's on the call today has been in the real estate business for how long, Brandon?
6 months. This is my 6th month.
6 months. Okay, cool. And you closed 3 deals your first 4 months in the business. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay,
Yep.
awesome. So, and let me ask you this: when did you get your license? Do you remember?
I got it February 23rd.
Okay, and when did you take your first listing?
March 1st, which was about 8 days after.
Most people might go a few months before they get their first listing. How did you get your first listing like 8 days after you got your license?
Yeah, well, I just got on the phone, right? I started calling. I was calling for sub owners, and I think me not knowing really what to expect or what to do was good for me, because I just got on the phone and did it, right? Just talked to people, and I ended up getting one person that was interested. He told me to come over, and yeah, I went over to his house. It was a sub owner. He listed it pretty high, I mean, like 25,000 over what it was actually worth. And he was okay with me listing it at what it was worth, and we got it sold within about 30 days.
Now, by the way, so 2 things. I guess first, how did you even know to cold call? I mean, did somebody tell you, hey, you should consider cold calling? Is that how you even knew that was an activity that you should do?
Yeah, while I was taking the test and on Crash Course Online, I was looking at a lot of videos on YouTube of prospecting, how to prospect. Door knocking and cold calling was the main 2 I saw, and I really wanted to do cold calling because it was, I could just buy the numbers and get on the phone and do it from my house, from the office, anywhere. And it was great. I just got on the phone and called for sale by owners.
Okay, and how did you get numbers to call? Like, how did you know how did you even know that this guy was a for sale by owner?
Yeah, there's a program called Vulcan 7, and I also use at the time I used Redx. And I saw both of those programs from some people on YouTube that were just cold calling. They were saying that they were using these programs, and it'll choose you. You could choose whether to call for sub owners or expireds, and those are, I would say, pretty good right now.
I see, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And oh, you didn't have, I mean, a lot of people might be scared of calling. Did you not have that fear to cold call?
No, I didn't, because I mean, if there's no business, if I don't do the calls, nobody's gonna do it for me. Eventually, it's gonna come down to a call, right? Whether you have to door knock or send out a mailer or buy leads, you're gonna have to call them. So eventually, you're gonna have to talk to people, and you can't be afraid. You can't be afraid in this business. Yeah.
Most people that get into the real estate industry, maybe like, and I'm guessing, probably aren't like natural salespeople. So you weren't frightened at all to make those calls? It sounds like you just were ready to go.
Yeah, I was for some reason I'm the type of person to not really be scared of new challenges or stuff like that. Like if it's challenging or fearful, I dive all into it because I know that's what I want. But yeah, I have no sales experience. I used to be a mechanic, so this is totally different from me, and I just went all into it. Being able to control my own income, right? There's no cap. My income is based on my productivity, on how much work I put in, on my just how much hours I'm in the office and prospecting. So I like that I can control everything. It's a little bit more freedom, more challenges. Yeah, the 9 to 5 is the same thing every day, so it's a little tiring. Mostly from my parents, my mom telling me, "Hey, get into real estate. Go sell some houses. Maybe you should try this." Because I would always talk, "Oh, I want money. I want to be successful." She's like, "Get into this. Try this." I was like, "Okay," because I tried the school thing and I didn't really want to do that. So I got into real estate, the classes, and then I looked up videos online, and yeah, I would see that there's people just right, they're flashing the cars, the watches, or they have the houses, and I was like, yeah, that's what I want. So I
Okay.
tried it out, and I mean, yeah.
So your mom said get into real estate. From your mom saying get into real estate, you signed up for the real estate classes, you watched a bunch of people on YouTube, and then through that process, you saw that people on YouTube were prospecting using tools like Vulcan 7 or RedX. We recommend Vulcan 7, but people looking on calling for sale by owners and expired listings, and you just randomly started doing that. And 8 days into getting your license, you got your first for sale by owner listing.
Yeah, and then another thing that I did was I looked up top 100 realtors in California, and I messaged the first top 10 on Instagram, and I asked them, "How are you prospecting? Can I work for you?" I think maybe 3 or 4 of them replied, and most of them were cold calls, cold call prospecting. So that's also where I was like, okay, well, if the top producers are doing it, then that's what I have to do.
Right. Now, just a follow-up question to that is, that was your first deal. By the way, do you mind if I ask what that first commission check was? Was probably light, because I think it was a light. Wasn't a mobile home that you sold?
Yeah, it was a small mobile home. It was like $1,200. Yeah.
Okay, right. But hey, at least you proved that you can do it, right? You found a lead, you got the contract signed, you marketed it, you found a buyer, you went into escrow and closed. At least like, that, hey, I can do this. The mechanics are possible for you.
Exactly.
The way that the transaction
proof
moves.
of concept.
Proof of concept, exactly. That's funny. Yeah, proof of concept. Perfect. Now, one follow-up question to that is you closed 2 other deals. Can you talk about maybe another deal that you closed and how you got that one?
Yeah, we closed another deal, a buyer. We got that one from sending out mailers. They were looking to sell their house. Another agent actually sold their house, and then I helped them buy their house, their new house. So we closed them in Victorville. And that was from sending out mailers. I have a buyer.
Where do you live?
I live in Rancho, Riverside.
In Riverside, right? I think
Yeah.
you live in Riverside or work in Cucamonga and went all the way up to Victorville to sell a house. My question is, are you like, do you consider yourself willing to do whatever it takes? Because it sounds like some people might say, man, you drove like 50 miles each way to show a buyer. I mean, that's a commitment in and of itself, being willing to drive that far for what isn't a guaranteed paycheck.
Yeah, I mean, right now I have another buyers in Long Beach, and I mean, I'll just drive 60 miles to just show them one house for 15 minutes. and I have no problem with that. I'm willing to do whatever it takes right now, and I'll go wherever they need me. So yeah.
Right. Interesting. So, I mean, I guess there's two things that I'm taking away from this. Number one, you're willing to do whatever it takes. You're willing to, you saw some YouTube videos, you made a bunch of cold calls, you called for sell by owners, you called expired listings. You're willing to do that. And separately, you're willing to do whatever it takes. If someone says, hey, I want to buy a house in Long Beach, you're willing to drive, an hour each way just to open one house to get it done.
Yeah, definitely. Whatever they need. And because it's also about building relationships, right? I want them to know that I'm here for them and I'm a hard worker. If they need anything in the future, they could also use me. So I
Right.
definitely, yeah.
Right. I know a lot of people that hear like, hey, this guy did 3 deals this first 4 months. He's kind of, he's building something, might say, what's the secret? And when you tell them it's just hard work and being able to do whatever it takes, a lot of people want some magic bullet or some secret recipe that's really going to make it happen. But it really is just very basic, right? It's just being a hard worker and being responsive and being willing to do whatever it takes.
Yeah, showing up every day, that's part of it. You have to show up every day, prospect, make the calls. I mean, there's always something to do in this business. You can't just say I have nothing to do. You could go to the market and talk to people about anything and, tell them you're a realtor, and that's prospecting. You like every day at least make some contacts.
Right. If someone else was just starting their, because I know you're still very new. I mean, you've only been licensed for 5 or 6 months, but if someone else was getting into the business and they wanted like a way to jumpstart their production, I mean, what would you say that they should do?
I would definitely say schedule some open houses, do some open houses, let some agents go ask agents if you could just do the open house for them, that you'll set up the signs, you'll have the water, whatever. Tons of buyers come. Some of them don't have agents, and you could become their agent, help them out, or maybe some of them even have to sell and buy. So open houses are really good right now. So I just started. I've done about 2. We have another one this week that I'm gonna do. So I'm trying to do them regularly, and I'm also started implementing door knocking 3 times a day, which is pretty good also, at least 50 to 100 doors a day. Now I just get the for sale by owner leads from Zillow, and I'm gonna call from there. I'll probably will buy Vulcan again and start hopping back on the expireds and for sale by owner with the dialer. But I still do for sale the calls. It's still really good. I would suggest practicing scripts just so you have the closings at the top of your head, and you could use them at any time. I found my partner when we were in like a business conference for Mike Ferry conference in Vegas, where he teaches how to prospect and how to call. So I met him there, and he's a good agent in Arizona. He closes about 20, 30 deals a year. And he was looking for a role play partner, and I was like, I'm looking for one too. And I didn't have my scripts down as much as he did, and he was thankfully he gave me his scripts, and I call him every day at 7:15 a.m. and we'll role play for sell by owner script, listing presentation script, and we'll role play a few other scripts, maybe some objections. But he's really helped me on getting my closings down, my objections down. It's every day we prospect Monday through Friday.
Now, and you're 24, you don't look like a child, right? So don't misunderstand this question, but some people, I do get some messages on my own Instagram from younger people that are maybe between 18 and 25, kind of your age. And they say, I'm too young to do real estate. And by the way, you have a full sleeve tattoo also, right?
Yeah, I'm full sleeve. I just went door knocking like this.
So I have 2 questions for you. My first question is, what would you say to someone that thinks they don't maybe have the look? I know I'm dressed a little differently today, but I mean, you're dressed professionally, you have a collared shirt on. But my question is, what would you say to some people that think that they're too young, too old? They have tattoos, they don't have tattoos, they have their nose pierced, they don't have their ears pierced. I mean, has anybody ever not worked with you because they said you were either too young or you had tattoos or any of that? Have you had that? Have you had that at all?
Not at all. Not at all. I'm not really worried about whether or not somebody doesn't want to work with me because of this, right? If they don't want to, that's fine. There's millions of people. You're gonna find somebody that does want to work with you and will connect with you, and that's the person you want to work with. Because the good thing about this business is you could choose who you want to work with. So you could choose somebody that's you want to work with nice people. So I mean, I've go door knocking. I've met clients first impression with my sleeve out, and they say nothing. I've never had a client ask me about my age or ask me about how long I've been in the business. You just you act professionally, you answer the questions, you show them the house, you go about it the right way, and they don't ask questions. They don't even think about it.
Right. Awesome. Perfect. Well, we only have 12 minutes left for this call. I do want to open it up again. If you just joined us, this is Brandon Andalon. He took our class a few months ago. He's done 3 deals in his first 4 months in the business. Wanted to see if anybody else on this call had any questions for Brandon, as we only have 12 minutes left.
Hi, Brandon. This is
Hello.
Lily. What would you say is the most challenging part of, getting started in the business?
The most challenging part is not having business, right? Like getting clients, getting some business to get the ball rolling. That's why I would say, so you don't get discouraged, you schedule some open houses so you're doing something, or go to the swami, go to events, make a little stand and pass out business cards, pass out flyers, just so you're doing something and people are talking to you. Because it's hard to get somebody to sell their house with you. It's hard to get somebody to trust you to be their agent. That's what I would be is the hardest thing, getting business.
Thank you.
I have a question. How much time do you spend cold calling per day?
So I would say minimum at least 2 hours. It depends how if you're doing for sub owners, most of them always answer. So it depends on what you're calling. I would say I usually would shoot for 20 to 30 contacts, which is a person that you talk about real estate with. They say yes or no, it's one contact. So however long it takes you to do 20 to 25 contacts, I would say, because for every contact, let's say in your first year you want to do 15 deals, you should shoot for 15 contacts a day. And however long it takes you to get 15 contacts is however long you should be on the phone. Because I mean, we're new agents, right? We have nothing else to do.
I'm just curious. I don't know if you can share this, but who was your broker? Who did you hang your
I'm
license?
with a brokerage in Rancho called First Team.
First Team?
First Team Real Estate. Yeah, my broker is Robert Adams. He's a pretty good guy.
Yeah, First Team is basically an independent real estate. I'm actually working out of his office today. First Team is an independent real estate company. They have like probably 15 or 1600 agents, over 35 offices. They're really big in like Orange County. They're probably the #1 real estate company in Orange County. They don't really have much of a presence in Los Angeles, but they're mostly an Orange County firm. And they have a couple offices in the Inland Empire as well, which is where Brandon's working out of today.
Yeah.
Has that helped you or hindered you in any way? If someone's like, oh, I've heard of First Team, or I've never heard of First Team, has that been something that has had any impact on your business?
No, I've just had people that have heard of First Team, which is good. I feel like it's good when they actually know about my company, but I haven't had people. It hasn't hindered me at all. No.
Interesting. Right. Okay.
Has anyone asked you if you were new? And if they did, how would you answer that?
I've gone on 2 listing presentations where the seller, they asked me how long have I been doing this? And I was honest with them, because it's always best to be honest and don't lie, because if you're going to be working with them, you don't want to lie to them. So I tell them, I've been in this business at the time, I think I was in the business 3 months. I was like, I've been in the business 3 months. I just closed 3 deals. That's almost double the average of agent. I could definitely help you sell your house, right? I acknowledge what he asked me, and I tell him the truth, and then I just go around it and tell him what I could still do for him, right? Because don't let it hinder you or think that that's going to stop him, right? And if it does, that's all right. You'll find somebody else.
Brandon, I do want you to tell this story about, because Brandon came to me and he had a for sub owner that was kind of hot, and he said, hey, this guy might want to sell his house, but the for sub owner wants to do a group interview with like a bunch of real estate agents at once. Talk a little bit about what that was like, because that's a very unorthodox way to do business, and you still had the guts to go. I kind of was like, that seems like it could be a weird thing, having 3 or 4 agents at one time on a listing. But Brandon, you had the guts to go. You even bought the guy a pizza after, because it was his birthday the next day or something, right? But maybe tell that story, because that just shows kind of the kind of guy you are, that you're willing to like literally do whatever it takes.
Yeah,
if you smell the slightest possibility of business.
Yeah, I called this for sale by owner. And right away, the guy, I was like, hey, I'm a local realtor. Are you looking to sell? And he was like, you know what, dude, I have so many of you guys calling me. If you want to come you want to come meet me, come to my house at 6 p.m. And he just hung up. I was like, what the heck? So I call him later. I was like, hey, you sure? Like, you want me to come? He's like, yeah, come. I have like 10 brokers coming. I was like, all right. So it's like 6 p.m. I show up and there's only 2 other agents. So it's me and 2 other agents. It's 3 of us all included. And one guy, the whole listing presentation, one guy just didn't even talk like at all. And then this other guy is talking the whole time. I throw in a little bit of words. I mean, it was good. It was a funny presentation. The guy was just the guy is way overpriced. He's 100,000 overpriced, so he's not gonna sell it. And he thinks that we're underpriced. It's fine, whatever. Long story short, the next day is his birthday, so I a pizza without even telling them. Shows up to his house, they get it. I call him. I'm like, hey, did you get your pizza? He's like, yeah, thanks so much. He was like, oh, I'll follow up with you. I call him like once a week to follow up with him. He still hasn't sold it. I just sent the pizza to build a relationship with him to see if I could get in the door. His wife and family thought it was funny. They were like, I'm bribing him. And yeah, I am bribing him. But I still haven't got it. He's way overpriced and he thinks he's going to sell it 100K over. So we'll see what happens.
Well, the guy, the for sale owner also seemed kind of strange. I mean, this guy literally had a picture of the pool in his backyard, and the guy was like laying face down on the cement next to the pool, and that was one of his marketing photos. So clearly, I might not have taken that listing. I might not have gone on that listing presentation
Yeah.
for a bunch of reasons. Not the least of which was that it was a group interview, which like never happens. A, and B, it was weird that like dude was like face down in a plank position next to his pool. It was odd, but again, that just shows that you're willing to do whatever it takes to get the deal.
Yeah, exactly, man. And I don't know if you remember also there was another for sale by owner. She was listed at $1 million and her house is worth 400K. And I also went on that one and it's tough. I mean, I tried selling her on it, and some people they just have their own mind, right? Their own objection, like their own way of thinking of things, and you just can't change it. You just have to wait for them to get tired.
Right. All right. And by the way, like, I mean, normally you would say, hey, if somebody's that overpriced, you know, they're completely not even in this solar system, just leave it alone. Don't go on a presentation like that. But the truth is, as a brand new agent, like you kind of need to get the reps in. You need to do the push-ups. You need to get the reps. So going on presentations and just being able to be comfortable with, hey, I'm an agent now. Here's my presentation. Here's my value prop. Here's the contract, prepping the CMA. Like that movement, you know, like is extremely critical in the beginning. Now, of course, if you're 5, 10, 15 years in the business, you might not, when you have more, your time is a little more valuable. But as a new agent, I mean, go on as many of these appointments as you can just to get the reps in.
Definitely. I definitely agree.
Cool. Go, Debbie, go ahead, please.
Do you take lease listings too, if you get a chance to? Because
yeah, right now I have like 3 or 4 families that are looking for that. I mean, well, they're not my listings, but they're looking for rentals. I mean, I'll take anything, right? Whatever, anything helps right now.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have someone that wants to lease, and I hear people say you don't want to be a lease agent, or you don't want to deal with leases that make no money. But in my mind, I feel like, you know,
No,
any
you
business is
definitely-
good business, and it's an opportunity to market yourself.
Yeah, you definitely want to learn everything in the business.
Sure. And by the way, I mean, I understand why someone would say to not take those lease listings like that. That's not untrue. But as a new agent, you know, just, hey, showing property, here's how the lockbox works, you know, setting appointments with agents. I know that might seem like kind of drudgery administrative work, but I mean, just the fact that you're getting out there in the field and meeting with clients, like the first 12 months, again, I think it's just about getting the reps in and understanding how the business works, understanding how to search the MLS. If someone says, hey, is this lease a good deal? You still can pull lease comps and show them. Like that system is very similar, whether you're selling or leasing. So yeah, the first year, I would probably say, you know, do literally whatever it takes just to be out in the field and get the momentum. You can be picky later when you have more money than time, right? But most new agents have more time than money. So that's the most important thing.
Definitely.
Yeah, agreed.
Cool. We only have 2 minutes left. I want to respect everyone's time on the call and end promptly at 12:30. Any final questions? Any final questions for Brennan? Again, 3 deals his first 4 months, former student of ours. I mean, it's definitely an accomplishment. So congratulations. But any other questions
Question.
for Brandon?
You said you go a lot on YouTube. What would you say recommend is the best that worked for you? A YouTube, like
For school or for prospecting?
prefer prospecting.
For prospecting, I would say look up Ricky Cruz live cold calls and just watch people cold call and see how they talk, their scripts, and also how like the homeowners talk, right? Because you'll see bad people, you'll see people that actually just give out their email, give out their number. Just see like how people do this business, because that's what you're gonna have to do for hours. Ricky Cruz live cold calls, or Mike Ferry listing presentation, Kevin Ward. Though some of those guys are really actively prospecting, or just look up prospecting cold calls, right? Or expired cold calls, for sale by owner cold calls, and look up door knocking too. I would say that would really give you a good idea of the business.
It's also like, what kind of business do you want to build? If your business is all open houses, there's so much content on YouTube, it would be like, winning open house strategies, and you'll see videos on that. If you're interested in expireds and for sale by owners, everything is so like, you have this bucket on the internet of like real estate, then you have real estate prospecting, then you have door knocking and cold calling, and then you have open houses. And it's like every one of these little niches, you have like a ton of content that I would look at. That's just what you want to do. You'll find a lot of options in all those niches. Cool. Well, thank you so much. Tammy asks, you repeat the suggestions for preparing for the exam. Yeah, I would go to crashcourseonline.com, do all the questions in the training mode at least twice. Make sure you're scoring at least a 90 or better on the mock exams, and you should be good to go for the test. Brandon, you took our crash course, right? Passed the first time?
Yeah, passed first time. Thanks to you, man. Thanks to your YouTube videos and everything. I loved it.
Yeah, I think Debbie passed the first time too, right? I'm looking at some people.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
The crash course is awesome.
Cool. I think everybody else is current students, but thank you all so much for spending a little bit of time with us on this Monday. I hope you join us next week, right? We'll do this every Monday at 12 o'clock. So just keep an eye out on your email, and we'll have somebody that's doing big things in the real estate business. Any final questions for Brandon, or any parting thoughts, Brandon, before we hop?
Just parting thoughts, I would say, guys, is prospect and close. Come into the office every day, and don't be scared. Don't be scared at all. And let's get the business, be successful.
Thank you, Brandon. I owe you lunch, buddy. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.